Generally, the stronger someone is under a delusion, anything that threatens the delusion generally gets a violent response. Usually verbal, not necessarily physical, but there's usually a strong, kind of equal opposite reaction type of thing. The stronger the delusion, the stronger the strength of the negative reaction will be to something that threatens the delusion. Because you got to remember, the delusion, by definition, is your world view of that part of the world, the way you see that aspect of life. If you threaten that, it means that the way I see the world in that area is wrong. Now, if I'm not really strongly committed to believing A, B, or C, it may take not much for me to change my mind and you show me something and I don't really care. Because maybe I don't have a strong thought about eating healthy. Forget about kashrut or whatever, just eating healthy, or maybe I don't have a strong thought about some sort of behavioral thing, and then I come and find out, oh, there's a better way to do this. What if I love something and I've committed to this is right, only to find out that it's not maybe right? And this can be really challenging, all right? It can be really challenging. And so that's where you get the violence. It has to do with how dogmatic you are about your particular view. Now, it may be that your view is right. It also may be that your view is delusional. Okay, so something that threatens it, though, which is why you see Democrats and Republicans getting so nasty, because they've bought into dogmatically their position instead of just saying, this is how I see the world. But each one pictures the other one threatening their world. And they're both wrong. We've had Democrat presidents and Republican presidents. Some have been better than others. It doesn't matter which one. Some have been better of each party. Some have been worse of each party. And you know what? It didn't destroy the country. But to talk to either one on either side, oh, if this one does this, the country's going to be destroyed. No. It's just that you need to say that because you feel threatened. And either side could do that. Both sides feel threatened by the other side. Each side thinks the other side is going to destroy everything, which is not true. It doesn't matter what my beliefs are. I have no fear of the Republicans or the Democrats running everything. We will survive, and pretty much guaranteed, whichever one's running it, the other one will run it next. And so then you can have a different group not to like. So it doesn't really matter. But then if you're really delusional, you'll convince yourself that your group is doing great when they're not, because you can't see. I'll give you an example. I talked to somebody, and I won't mention who or whatever, but I talked to somebody in the family, and they're very dogmatically on one side of that political equation. So when that party was in power, they would attack whatever. Then the party would switch, right? The other one would be in power, do pretty much exactly certain things exactly the same as what was complained about. And I would call them up and say, by the way, does it bother you when your president now is doing whatever the other president was doing before? Oh, they wanted this to have a total fit. How dare you? But this is the exact same thing. Like literally what you screamed about President A, now President B is doing the same thing. See, that's the emotional enslavement. And you can have that, maybe you're a raging vegetarian, maybe you're a raging carnivore. You guys don't get well along. Carnivores are telling you vegetables are killing you. The vegetarians are telling you meat's killing you. Depending on how dogmatic you get, that's how intolerant you get. And the reason you get intolerant is because the more dogmatic, the more it becomes your world is challenged by somebody not agreeing with you. That's immature. That's why people don't talk about religion, politics, certain topics, because it starts fights because people are intolerant of a different view. I tolerate all views. Now, I will challenge all views. Even if your view is one I agree with, I want to challenge you just to make sure that you actually know what you're talking about, even if I agree with you. I'll play the other side of it just to see how strong you are about your view. But I do that in good fun and in trying to help you grow, not because I'm dogmatic, because I'll never do it violent or angry, because I think we should be able to have a conversation. So if you're A, I'm going to try and take the B side just to see where you're at and to see how strong you are, to see whether or not you've done the research, to see how much you know about it, or did you just buy into an emotional swell from some movement that flew by for a few minutes. Look, one of the advantages to being 60 plus years old is I've seen a few of those. I've been in the fitness-related stuff since my 20s. Worked at a gym, managed a gym, was a personal trainer, all that stuff. Being all that, I could tell you there was times where carbs were great. There was times where eating 4 meals a day, 5 meals a day was the way to go, smaller meals. Other times now it's intermittent fasting. Let's eat only 1 meal a day. OMAD, let's do. It changes every couple of months. It used to change every couple of years. No fat, low fat. Oh, lots of fat. Eat. You know. Cholesterol is good. Cholesterol is the enemy. But the thing is, a lot of people in their immaturity, that includes religion, that includes their belief system, they get all filled up, but they don't have the knowledge. They heard something somewhere. And then I'll challenge them and say, where did you hear that? Have you looked it up yourself? Have you read it? I've seen 1 million people out there attacking Talmud, for example, and not a single one of them's actually ever read it. I know they've never read it. Same thing with the Kabbalah. They'll attack Kabbalah. I'm not saying any of these things are valid, good, or right, but I test to see, do you even know what you're talking about? Even if I agree with them, I first want to know, is it your thought or somebody else's thought? Have you thought for yourself? Have you done any research? But the thing is, if their worldview, which is what Janet was talking about, gets so locked in, anything you do to challenge it will almost always get some sort of hard, strong, we can call it violent reaction. The normally calm person loses their stuff, pops their cork, right? Yeah, you knew what I was going to say. All right? And you've seen people do it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? You challenged their delusion bubble. And you can't be right. They can't allow that. It changes the way they see everything, or at least everything in that area of life, right? And so you can't do that. You know, they have to react violently to that. So that's why you can take somebody, Sunday keeper, walk them through scripture, show them the Sabbath, show them all these other things and all that other stuff. They can't see it. Even if they can see it, they can't accept it because it challenges that level of delusion that they can't let go of. And so when you ask, why do people react the way they do? You see this in your field, right? When you're trying to counsel somebody and they have a strong, we'll call it a stronghold. In other words, they have a strong hold on a belief, not a stronghold like some outside thing, Christians, relax. That's your delusion bubble reacting. Oh, tell me about strongholds. But you have a strong hold on a thought. And if I say something that goes against that thought, game on. That can happen. Now, if somebody doesn't have that strong a hold, then you can talk about something and it's no big deal. Or if they're mature enough, where they can allow somebody to see things differently and be in their delusion and be okay with that. Because some of you will go get nasty and strong with somebody's post because you didn't like what they said. Well, what do you care what they said? Well, no, somebody needs to say something. Why? Why do you need to say something?